Hey, what's up, everybody? Haven't made a Caustic video in a while, so I figured I'd go over through one of my production technique videos. This is actually one of my favorite songs that I made, and it's really simple. And it's got it's got a really catchy melody and some good sound design in it. So I figured this would be good to teach you guys some stuff. So first of all, here's the song.
Your city's a sucker. Your city's a sucker. My city's a creep. Your city's a sucker. Your city's a sucker. My city's a creep. Your city's a sucker. Your city's a sucker. My city's a creep. Your city's a sucker. Your city's a sucker. My city's a creep. Your city's a sucker. Your city's a sucker. My city's a creep. Your city's a sucker. Your city's a sucker. My city's a creep. Your city's a sucker. 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 Your city's a sucker. My city's a creep.
The doctor is about to operate.
Your city's a sucker. Your city's a sucker. Your city's a sucker. My city's a creep. My city's a creep. My city's a sucker. My city's a creep. My city's a sucker. My city's a creep. My city's a sucker. My city's a creep.
So let's just start off right away with some of the FM sound design that I did. So you can see right here that I gobbled up four tracks just to create this one sound here. Like if we go here, it's a real like metallic FM sound. Real aggressive kind of bass. Sounds really good, and it was actually it was a lot about just kind of testing out, just kind of tweaking different stuff. FM synth could be quite challenging to actually get specific stuff made. I have a video explaining how you can make any FM algorithm using the modulars, but a lot of the times it will gobble up a lot of your tracks, but you can always just merge everything, merge rack to instrument. You can just choose whatever. So like in this one, I could just turn everything down and turn these ones up, the first four tracks, and then create a what's it called out of it, PCM synth out of it. So you can see that here's the first one. I just used these are just two oscillators. If you flip it over, it's just a really simple algorithm right here, and I did this for each one. on here. And then here's the second one. And like I said, it's just the bottom one is FMing the first one. And from there, it's just little differences in the decays, the release times, stuff like that. See how the sustains up a little bit more. The decay, this one actually has an attack to it. A little bit different with the octaves. Just play around with it. And then so once you get down here, this is how you can patch everything together, is with the, you use the machine output thing. Where is it? It's been a while since I used Caustic. No, it's in generators. Okay, the machine input. You just go add machine input, and then you can go to whatever ones that you want. You go through your whole rack that's in here. So we don't need this. So what I did was took 1 and 2, the 3 and 4, and the 5 and 6. So if you scroll down, here's the 1 and the 2. And then, sorry, my mouse is messing up too. This isn't very good. So here's the 5 and the 6. So all of them are right here. And then you just patched it together through this. And then I ran it through, it looks like a filter, and I decayed it. Put a decay envelope on the cutoff and the res, or no, just the cutoff. And then that's how we got the FM on here. We could just listen to the FM right here. Let's just loop this part. And then use this out. See how you have to turn these down too, or the sound's going to be different. You want the final output with the only thing with the volume up. If you do this, it's going to sound different. So we could just solo this. Nice, big, aggressive. It goes really good with these drums right here. No, this isn't the one. It's this one, I believe, is what I used. Yeah, my happy hardcore one. I think it's this. Yeah, this is the things I made, and it's a very simple drum pattern. Boom, boom, boom. It's boom, boom, ch, boom, ch. And I think it does the same there. Yeah, see, it's all same for the 4 thing. That's the one thing I didn't quite enjoy about the song, was the drums are kind of boring, but they do a good job on what they're supposed to do to keep the rhythm. So let's go a little bit deeper into this. So right here, here's another patch that I created. It's just a Dr. Dre kind of West Coast style synth. Oh, I don't have my controller plugged in. So you use a lag processor to get this blended thing. So if I go from here, this, it glides the notes is basically what's that doing. So when you have the note CV, the control voltage, you run it through the lag processor first. You go into the in, and then to the outs, you take it to the notes of the oscillators. From here, this is FMing this first oscillator and the pitch of it too. But this is also FMing this the bottom one too. So it's a weird kind of like whatever, I don't even know what you'd call it. It's FMing the thing that it's FMing. So these are actually, in this case, these are both being the modulators, but this one is the official carrier, because this is where the sound is coming out of on here, and then it's just through a high pass filter on here. And I only use that for this part, but it sounds like this right here. Let's solo this. Whoops. It's not to the... Man, I need to get another mouse. Sorry. And then I just glided the note on the bottom right there. That's how the glide's happening. Where is that glided note? Oh, that's 4 bars. Okay. So it's probably right here. Yep, there's the glided note down there, and it's gliding from that. Okay. So I threw in some random kind of effects right here. So if we go to, yeah, whoops.
The doctor is about to operate.
So those are kind of just spread out through the whole thing. So the vocals were a bit tedious. I ripped them from a site called Vocal Extractor, which is, I use it so much for pretty much all my stuff. I used it for my Emily song, or my Emma song, not Emily, it's Emma.
Emily, Emily, I'm gonna write your name high on that silver screen. Emily, Emily, I'm gonna make you the biggest star this world has ever seen.
And I also used it for the Feeling Good. And I used it for this one too, so it actually does a pretty good job of separating the vocals from the rest of the track. So we could just listen to something random. Let's just throw it here and see what happens. Solo this.
Your city's a sucker. Your city's a sucker. My city's a creep.
So it doesn't really sound that good, but with the drums and the music in it, you can't even tell the difference. So to do this, if you go to my samples on here, I had to create quite a bit of little different ones on there, and it's tough because you have to not only get the tempo right, but you have to set it up properly. So if we go down to some of my things on here, see how it's like right here? They don't start exactly on the on where you think it would at the beginning of the bar. That's because if you see down here, see how they start right here? That's because it starts before the one hits. So when he says your city's a sucker, it doesn't start on your, it's city. That's the number one. That's the first beat. So you can't just start it on there, and that's why it's kind of a tedious process, especially with the looping when you're trying to get it good. Because if you go down here and be like, so for instance, if you loop it from here to here, it's not going to play because you're playing before the sample. So if we go to 7, see right here? It's not going to play it's not on the number 1, so it's not going to be, so this actually is the number 1 right here. This is where the beat starts. It's your city's a sucker. So city is hitting right here on the sample, and this is your. So if I'm looping from right here, because look down here again, this is a bit, I'm sorry, this is a bit confusing, but see how it's right here? It's not going to be playing because it doesn't start at the beginning of the sample. So you always have to do like a 2-bar thing, and it's just little tedious stuff like that. It's just like, ugh. So let's move on. I think I just did a simple 808 patch for this right here. Really easy to make. All you have to just decay the pitch. Depends on what you want it to sound like. But this is just, hear how it goes down. But if you bring this to like right here, it doesn't give it that dip. There we go. And then this mod is just the length of the note. So if we were to do this, this would be much shorter. And this is a good way to decay the very first part. Always put a decay envelope on your pitch right here, and that'll give it that punch at the very beginning of your 808s. So let's just throw both of these up. I wanted just a long, deep, just a single hit. So what else did I do? Okay, so your city's a sucker, da 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 da. So this is almost like 2 beats in a row. I actually created, I created another song I called just Hospital. that had actually this was actually 3 different songs that I was able to create in one, because I always create these just little short loops and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, well, one day I'll figure out something to do with it, and a lot of times I'll be able to combine the things, and oh man, I'm so happy when I'm able to like combine 2 tracks, because for me, I'm not very good at making music. Like, it takes me a long time to try to think of stuff. So whenever I finally am able to incorporate something, especially if I have 2 unfinished songs and I'm able to create it to like one really good one, I'm always really happy. So right here is I sampled a bunch of hospital sounds. Here's heartbeat 1. So there's a reverb on this. And then this is Darth Vader's breath. So I created a beat out of that, and this is where it switches up right here, so we can just listen from here. I think all of them are, yep, okay.
The doctor is about to operate.
So it totally goes into a different song on here. So I couldn't create anything with the hospital thing. I'm like, you know what? That'd be good to be able to, because these are 2 totally different things. I mean, if you listen to this, how aggressive this sounds.
Y'all cities are sucking, my cities are creep.
Now compare it to this. It's a lot different vibe, and I love the way that it blends, because it does feel like 2 different songs on here. And for the melody on this is about as simple as it gets. It's just a straight up square wave. That's all I did, but I ran it through 2 saturators on here, but not at full capacity on them. And it gave it a nice kind of blend. I don't know what I did with the EQing on it. Very short decay on it, so wait a minute. Oh, never mind, the sustain's all the way up. Yeah, the decay doesn't matter. So I could put it up to here. It's still going to do the same thing. The decay only matters if you have the sustain down, because it gives the decay, it decays into the sustain sound, so it doesn't matter where you put the decay. So I don't know why I had it right here. So let's see how I EQ'd it real quick, because I really like the sound. It's very simple, and but it sounds pretty good. Didn't even EQ it. Did nothing to it. Look at that. Tiny bit of reverb. That's all it is, and that's it. You know, and that's what I said. Like, some things don't have to be complex. Some things can be very simple and straightforward, and as long as you get a funky melody to it, it's gonna sound good. So I layered it with a bass on here, and it gave it kind of that deeper end. So this is the thing without it, just a square wave. Which sounds great, but it needed that to be layered with a bass. And sometimes, not just sometimes, I say almost most of the time, you're gonna need to blend instruments with, unless it's something really specific and aggressive that can handle it on its own. A lot of instruments need to be blended together. So if you came up with something that sounds good, and you feel that it's missing something, try just copying the pattern. So like what I did, I wrote the melody for the square right here, and then I took the same thing and I just copied it onto the sequencer of the PCM, and then I just filtered through different sounds. I'm like, you know what, this needs some lower end, so I chose all my basses, and until I found something good, I'm like, this is going to be perfect. And then I did more of the "Your City's a Sucker" thing. So if you're wondering, I'm just double clicking. If you double click up here on the left, it'll take you all the way to, oh, it's supposed to take you to the top. Why is this base? Why did it only take me to the base? That's weird. If you click at the very top, double click it, it's supposed to take you to the very top. In the middle is the mixer, and on the bottom's the song sequencer. Let's try that again. That's weird, man. It's not supposed to do that. But this is Caustic, man. Stranger things have happened. Okay, so for, I guess on these drums, all I did was, so this is stuff I actually sampled from the song Defunct, the Daft Punk. But I only used the, no, I didn't use that. What'd I use? This. I think this is actually from the Trance kit that I used. Yeah, this is from, if you go into the stock settings on Caustic for the drums and you go to Trance, I think this is just the stock hi-hat, which I believe I decayed. Yeah, I decayed a bunch because this is an open hi-hat. So if we take this up, see, it's a totally different sound than where I had it. So that, and then, okay, looks like I used the clap too. Once again, layer your stuff. It's going to make it sound better. Especially drums, too. Drums almost always need to be layered. Unless you have really good samples that are probably already layered to create that sample. So that's pretty much how it goes. I think I added a wolf somewhere. Oh, here's the vocoder part. This is my favorite part of the track. So if we go here, we can just listen to it real quick and watch how I added some automation to it. I just used the vocal samples that I was using for the rest of the track, and then I just added it to here. So we can go here. This was actually a very tricky and tedious part for me to create. You had to, this goes with the melody. I had to create the same sequence as the melody did. Then I had to stretch the notes out and stuff, and then I had to do some automation, which you'll see here in a second. Let's just play it.
My city's a creep. My city's a creep. My city's a creep. My city's a creep.
So you see that it was going to dry. That's how it sounded. That's how you got the original sound. If you take the dry and you bring it up, man, this thing just doing it, whatever it wants. Ugh, weird. So anyways, you just bring the dry up a little bit and you get the original sound that is being the modulator. And then just using the internal oscillator as the carrier, and it's just a, what's it called? A sawtooth. Didn't mess with any of the bands or whatever. Looks like I did put a little bit of the high pass filter. That'll bring in a little bit of just the high frequencies of the original modulation source. So in this case, how this vocoder works is it's just a audio sample is being the modulator, and the oscillator that's in here, just a sawtooth, is the carrier for it. But this was tedious. I added a wolf somewhere. Where's the wolf? I thought I added a wolf. Where is that? I remember because he's all, ow! And I sampled that from a Simpsons clip. Where he's like, how come you don't follow in my steps, boy? And then all of a sudden, it's all quiet, and there's, ow! The wolf howls.
Wait a minute. Isn't anybody going to follow in my footsteps?
Where is that? Where's the wolf? I don't know. Maybe here? Nah, it's before that. Yeah, there it is. You know, just out of the blue, just add something that nobody's gonna expect. I always like to add stuff like that, or like all of a sudden have like a Godzilla roar in any of my songs. Um, and then, oh yeah, the doctor is about to operate. That was a fun little drop that it did right here.
The doctor is about to operate.
That's from the movie The Mask, the Jim Carrey movie from 1994. I think 94. No, it's 96. The Mask? When did The Mask come out? 95? No, it came out in 95. Yeah, because the video game was 1995. So it came out in, well, maybe 94, 95, something like that. Anyways, it doesn't really matter. So it just finishes off with this, and then I wanted to add a little bit of the hospital theme at the very end with this. Yeah, so it's a very simple, straightforward song that I really enjoyed making. So anyways, I hope you guys learned something. Hope you got something useful out of this. Yeah, I'll see you next video. Cue the music.